We've got our CEO, Carl Deichler, just waiting to share some very, very important stuff. If you're new to Beachbody, here he is, our co-founder of Beachbody and CEO, Carl Deichler.
Thanks, Sandy. Short and sweet for me today. That was an amazing list of names, and thanks to Darren for staying up late on a Sunday night, because he's got to prepare all those slides so that we make sure that we recognize the people who are doing the work. I was asked to say hi to everyone from Isabel. She hopes everybody's healthy and feeling good, and she wants to make sure you're drinking your shake, boosting it, making sure you're taking care of yourself, because it's easy for people to start to slide sideways as they get a little bit bored of this whole situation. So that's the message from Isabel today. But I wanted to come on and let you know that I have come to a realization that probably won't be a surprise to many, but maybe if you are new, it's a surprise to you. We have to think bigger. That's what the realization that I've come to. We need to be the driving force of health, the driving force of financial freedom, because of the value that we bring to people's lives. And I wanted to get on the National Wake Up Call and ask you to move on this vision now. Yes, we've got all these new diamonds, but those new diamonds need to be starting groups. Those new diamonds, you new diamonds, need to be inviting people now with a fervor, with a passion that shows just how important what this company can do for people, how important it is, what we can do for people. But let's take a look at last week. Tuesday, we had our peak simultaneous users at one time, over 31,000 people working out on Beachbody On Demand at the same time. Get that in your mind a second. Think of how many gyms we would have filled with 31,000 people working out at the same time. And that's happening because Beachbody On Demand is on a surge, meaning we have surpassed 2 million subscribers on Beachbody On Demand. That is a benchmark and a milestone that I've been looking for a couple of years. Now I'm thinking about getting to that 3 million mark already. And with the launch of bod groups, we have seen a dramatic launch in inviting, and that has led to a double in our enrolling activity. To give you a sense of that, on the first day of April, last month, the 1st of April, we had 1,700 different coaches who enrolled someone with a challenge pack, right? So on the 1st of April last year, that was a Wednesday, 1,700 coaches signed somebody up with a challenge pack. This month, the first of the month was Friday. And normally Friday's kind of a slower day. We had over 4,000 coaches enrolled someone with a challenge pack. That's 2 times the productivity of last month. And you might say, well, that's a fluke, carryover from the last day of April, which was a really big day. Well, on Saturday, which is normally the slowest day of the week, we had another 2,000 enrollers. That's 6,000 coaches enrolled somebody in the first 2 days of the month. Since bod groups launched, over 11,000 groups have been started. We're over 20,000 active groups now and 241,000 participants. That's an average of about 10 people per group, which is a good size. That means people are getting real personal attention from a coach. That's what we do. That's so different. We give personalized attention, not just transactions. The transaction is the beginning of the process, but then we help people get results with our programs. And we're seeing between 30,000 and 100,000 invites going out a day now. And that's a big deal because, as you know, I'm casting for 5 coaches to be in a promo video for bod groups. And I'm going to charter 5 private jets to pick you up and pick 5 of your friends up at the same location. You'll be there. And then you're going to shoot some video for me to just show the bod group leadership lifestyle. Maybe we'll send you to leadership or to the next summit, or maybe a special event we'll put together. I don't know. But I'm looking for the 5 leaders who get more of their personally sponsored coaches to start groups and enroll people with the total solution right now. It's important. And that promotion goes through May 31st. And it looks like you're already over it. And coach signups are skyrocketing. We had almost 40,000 new coaches sign up last month. And that's good news, because as a community, you're doing great things. And you're going to hear me restate the mission slightly different, because that mission has got to make sense to people. We help people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. That means we help people achieve and maintain freedom, help them achieve health and happiness. Freedom, health, and happiness. That is a big deal right now. So now I have to ask you to sit up, take notice. Over 30 million people have filed for unemployment right here in the United States. That's not freedom. During this quarantine, expectations are that obesity rates are going up. Even though we're seeing more people work out here, out there, the rest of the people, they're lost. They need what we do. And that only undermines their health. And that creates more anxiety, that feeling of lack of control, of stress. All that contributes to undermining our health and well-being. Freedom, health, happiness. This is what Beachbody stands for. And I implore you to today, take this moment and see the importance of what we do. I read about companies all the time. Last night I was thinking about ours, and I came to a conclusion that together we run one of the most important companies in the world. And we have to grow it aggressively, because we help people take care of themselves. We're not just a business opportunity, and we're not just treating sickness like maybe pharmaceutical companies, but we help them eat better. We help them stay active. We give people a shake that has been formulated and produced to enhance the body's health and well-being. And we share that opportunity and that obligation to help people with everyone who will step up and seize it. We're literally just getting started. We should be 100 times the size of what we are with what we offer the world. And working together in groups now, it unlocks the potential, so it's easier for every coach to upload their contacts and invite people, which is why I need your focus today. We have this Business of Coaching event tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time, 12 noon in the Pacific, and I think Kevin said 8 o'clock in the UK. And there are those who would say, oh, there goes another MLM, taking advantage of the situation. But I'm telling you, right now, this is a network of people who are fighting every day to help people achieve freedom, help them stay healthy, help them take control of their happiness. Today is the day to invite customers to your bod groups like crazy. Upload your contacts. Invite them to start a new program. Bar Blend, 10 rounds, 21-day fix, Morning Meltdown 100, 80-day obsession, T25, whatever it is. Or even just get started on an eating program like Ultimate Portion Fix or 2B Mindset, and drink this shake. Every challenge pack is on sale this month. So this is the day to invite people. Invite them to the Business of Coaching event that we're doing tomorrow. They can be cash flow positive on this new beginning of an opportunity with their first 3 challenge packs. And then it's up from there, right? It just goes up from there as they continue to take it seriously. And we have to take this seriously. We need to help people get control of their lives. We need to help people get their health back. This is serious. We need to help people get back their freedom and be in control. And with that, we'll give them a shot to forge their own path to happiness. Now, I'm not just talking about wealth. I'm talking about life balance and well-being, happiness. That's what we can do for people if we think bigger. So, welcome to Monday. You are officially woke. You are woken up. May the 4th be with you. That is funny to say. And now we get to it. Sandy, who's our guest? Let's hear
You
from
know,
Danielle.
I can't believe you because I wrote down life balance because that is exactly what I feel everybody needs right now, emotionally, physically, nutritionally. So, you and I, may the fourth be with us. Okay, he's out. All right. We are on to our speaker for today, Danielle. Let me give her the introduction that she deserves. She's been waiting patiently. And you know what? She started this month, May, 6 years ago. So she's been a coach 6 years. Her first year as a coach, she was a premier coach. Now, those of you who are new to Beachbody, you're going to learn a lot about premier and elite and the rank advancements. All these things have to do with helping people, helping develop your customers, helping develop coaches. The other thing is that she was an elite coach 4 times in a row. So congratulations for that. And what I love is that she has been in Success Club 71 months. Okay, Success Club helping at least 3 new people every single month connect to a healthy solution. And she's done that 71 months in a row. So almost every month that she has been a coach. She is also a 10-star diamond coach. Please give her a very warm welcome. She's from Starlight, Indiana, Danielle Lickteig. Danielle is here. Yay! Look at you. You look so fantastic. How are you, honey?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I feel like after hearing Carl, like now my fire's lit. I have the motivation and I'm like ready to
Yes.
spill everybody.
Yes, he is a fire starter. So
Yeah.
I'm excited that he comes on before the coach because then the coach is like, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to get out of the way. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about you. You came to Beachbody about 6 years ago. How did that work out for you?
Okay. So 6 years ago, I was 7 years into my professional career as a registered dental hygienist. And at that point, I was beginning to feel a little bored and burnt out in my profession. And, I was really starting to realize that I was kind of getting myself in a rut. At the same time, I had also recently we had a toddler at home. So at the same time, when she was born, my husband and I decided that I would then cut my hours. And so in my dental hygiene profession, I went from working 5 days a week to working 4 days a week. And when that happened, that created a very tight budget for us. It made it difficult to do some of the things that we really enjoyed doing, which was being able to travel. I remember the first year that we went on a vacation, we found ourselves dipping into the savings to even pay for it. So at that point, that kind of led my husband and I into a conversation one night where we were really brainstorming on what was it that I could do to create an additional supplement income where I wasn't going back and working more dental hygiene hours. Because like I mentioned, I was already feeling kind of burnt and bored. If you're unfamiliar with the profession, it's very much the same thing from every day. It's very mundane. It's the same thing day in and day out. And so we were really talking about how can we create a supplement income with something that would ignite that fire in me and really get me excited about life again outside of just being a mom. And so when we started brainstorming and really thinking about what was my interest in my hobby, both him and I were like, duh, fitness. Like I loved fitness. I was very into that. So we started talking about what is it that I could do? Well, we thought about what about being a fitness instructor or a personal trainer? And then I'm like, well, you know what? I already clock in day in and day out with my professional career as a hygienist. Do I really want to go work nights and weekends? And I had friends that were in that industry and I knew that the income wasn't that great. So I was like, I really don't feel like that's going to be worth my time. So then my newfound interest at that time was starting to become nutrition. I thought, how cool would it be if I could do something with nutrition? And then I realized that in order to do something with nutrition, I really needed to go back to school or be certified. And at that point in time, I was done in that area in my life. So jokingly, we even said, well, what about a food truck? Like that would be really cool. But we really decided that wouldn't be the best decision very quickly because to get something off the ground like that would cost thousands of dollars. And we know nothing about the business side of trying to do a food truck. Now, long and behold, the whole time I was also watching on social media a colleague of mine who is my now sponsor, Brooke, and I seen her posting and sharing a lot about the business side of coaching. So it got me really curious and intrigued to what she was doing. And I really wasn't sure what it was all about. I had seen other people talking about Beachbody and sharing their transformations and talking about their challenge groups. But honestly, that's not what I was looking for. I was very happy in my own health and fitness routine. And what I was really looking for was a business opportunity, a way to create a supplement income with something that I felt passionate about. So when I continued to watch my colleague and my now sponsor, Brooke, and I seen her posting and she was sharing that she was creating a supplement income. Well, her and I both work for the same fast-paced dental office. And I thought, well, if she's able to do this on the side of working full-time dental hygiene, like, why couldn't I? And then I would see her post about going on these trips, and they looked fun. And I noticed that they were centered around a fitness loving community. And I thought, well, that's cool. Like, all of these people look like people that I would get along with and want to hang out with. And then kind of the kicker for me was she was sharing how she could mentor other people to do the business and do exactly what she was doing. Well, one thing that I may have failed to mention is I came into this totally clueless. I had never completed a Beachbody program. I had never done a challenge group. I hadn't tried our supplements before. So I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need somebody that's serious about the business side of coaching. And I need somebody that can train me and teach me how to do this. And so her and I talked, and it didn't take long. I immediately signed up, ready to work the business. When I signed up, I had joined with Challenge Pack because she had told me that would waive my coaching fee. She had briefly mentioned the 21-day fix, and I had seen people like sharing and posting about it. And she had mentioned that it was the new kind of popular thing. And I thought, okay, you know, if it's a popular thing, then I should probably get that one. So I got it, it arrived, and I opened it up, and I was like, okay, what is this? And I noticed it was like basically centered around an eating plan. And I thought, well, you know, I feel really comfortable in the way that I'm eating now. I really don't feel like I need something like this. So I was this close to sending it back. And I was like, no, it's 21 days. This would be a great way to get a testimonial. I'll experience it. I'm going to go through it start to finish. So I read the book. I started my journey immediately. And you all, in 21 days, I got a transformation I did not anticipate. What I didn't realize is, though I wasn't looking for a transformation and I didn't feel like anything was wrong with my nutrition, I actually was in a plateau. I was in a plateau that I just had accepted. I didn't think my body would change or was ever going to look any different. But what didn't change was me. I wasn't doing anything different. So when I started to tweak my portions, then I noticed that little tweak for me is what got me past that plateau. And it ultimately gave me my transformation where I started to lean out. I started to get muscle definition, which I never felt like I could have. But it's not just the physical. It was the internal that I noticed a change too. My energy was improved. I felt healthier and a lot better. And you guys, that was Shakeology. I wasn't using a supplement before. I knew I needed to be using something, but I really stereotyped all of these supplements as these like crappy, artificial filled like protein drinks. And so I'm like, I don't really want to use something like that. Like, we were really trying to clean up our nutrition then and really sticking with clean ingredients. And so when I started researching about Shakeology, I was ultimately blown away. Not only did it have like so many nutrients in it that my body needed, so no wonder I felt better, but it was clean. And that was huge for me. I wanted to make sure that if I was going to be using something for a health supplement, that it was going to be something that was clean. And you all, like, all of those things together made me realize that if I can achieve this in 21 days, what could I help people do? So I have to say that, yes, the fitness side of Beachbody was awesome then, and I thought it was great and the workouts were nice, but I was really blown away by the nutritional side that the company offered.
You know what, Danielle, what I love about your story is that you thought that your nutrition was good. You're like, I'm good. I don't need this. But then you also realized that something wasn't working. So that is a really, really great story. I hope a lot of people will listen to that, especially when they're working with customers that say, I'm good on the nutrition side. I'm just going to do fitness, because you realize that the nutrition was really key. So leads me to my first question for you, and that is, why do you this topic that you're talking about today is leading with nutrition? Why is it important to lead with nutrition?
So not only with leading with nutrition, not only did I get my results, but this is ultimately what helped me build my business. To me, fitness is easy, right? Like, you can do a jumping jack, you can do a burpee, you can do all the motions if you just have, the will to do it. And of course, Beachbody makes it fun. They make it challenging, and our super trainers do a great job at really keeping us motivated during the workouts. But when I really started asking people questions, and we're going to get into the importance of asking those questions later, I learned that, yes, sure, people do need that support and that accountability, but where they were really struggling at was their nutrition. And they weren't just struggling with that for themselves, but they really wanted to be able to have a grasp on nutrition. If they were parents, they wanted to be able to pass this down to their kids so they can teach their kids to also grow up and be healthy and do it the right way. So I feel like it's our job as coaches to not just talk about fitness. We have to share everything that Beachbody has to offer, which also includes nutrition. For me, if you're following one of the Ultimate Portion Fix or To Be Mindset, if you're following those programs and you start to do posts or you start to share that in your stories and you start to talk a little bit about what you're learning, then you're also teaching. You're just taking the information you're learning and you're putting it out there to teach somebody else. That is planting seeds. And when you're planting seeds, you're going to get their wheels turning and really having them self-evaluate their own nutrition and what they're doing for their families. And, ultimately having them ask themselves, is this really serving my family too? But I think that's also what's going to help you in future conversations when you really start to turn that conversation, when you're leading it with nutrition and you're having them focus on the nutritional side. You've already planted all those seeds. So you're already building up for your future conversations by doing that.
Nice. So you started with 21 Day Fix because that was kind of like the program that Brooke was talking about at the time, right? How
Yeah.
from that program were you able to really learn about nutrition, and how confident did you become from that?
I definitely think when I did the 21-day fix and I got results, then having the basic information, because I always tell everybody that that specific program does give you the basis of the eating plan, right? So I felt confident that I could help them through it because I went through it. And I think that's important to have your own personal testimonial, to always try something start to finish. But I also would have people ask me questions that I couldn't find in the 21-day fix information. So I was going to YouTube and I was watching tutorials from Autumn or listening to her Q&A. She was always doing these Q&As because people were asking her questions all the time. Or I was going to the Beachbody blog. And so I was kind of going all over the place trying to organize this content for my customers within the challenge group to help them and help them create better results. But I realized that that also wasn't always duplicatable for my team. So I loved when Beachbody came out with both of our nutritional programs. Yes, do I use one of them personally and do I lead with it? Absolutely. But I have invested and I have learned both of our nutritional programs. I became a master coach in both of them. So therefore, I have the tools to help literally everyone, no matter what their nutritional needs are. And I'm a firm believer that as in coaches, once you get one of the nutritional programs down, then you really should make sure that in the future, you're investing in the other. So that way you have all the tools that you need in order to help people get results.
That is really, really good advice. Now, when I think about, we had Alexandra Carter on the call a few weeks ago, and she talked about negotiation and how you steer a conversation in the way that it helps you. Now, how, when you're speaking with a customer or a challenger, how are you steering the conversation towards that nutrition aspect so that they understand that a total solution challenge pack or a total solution pack is about the whole solution, nutrition and the fitness and the support of a coach?
And I love that national wake up call, because I was like, that's what I do. But yes, during the conversation, so I always start in the beginning, even if they're like, okay, can you tell me a little bit about your challenge group? So I kind of pause them for a second. I say, you know what? I would really love to share more about my challenge group. But first, can I ask you, what are your goals and where do you struggle? And that way, when I learn a little bit more about you, I can lead you in the right direction. Okay. So then we're already creating better communication. We are building trust. They realize that I actually want to help them because I'm asking the right questions. And most of the times I found that they were coming back with saying nutrition was their issue, especially because they had seen my post, right? I had them already evaluating what their nutrition looked like. But sometimes they don't. And when they don't, then I'll say, okay, well, you said X, Y, and Z is your struggle, but how about your nutrition? That's all it takes, is one simple question to lead them in the direction that you want to go, and to really get them thinking other than just their fitness. We actually start having them think about, well, what does my nutrition look like? And I oftentimes will see coaches kind of get stuck in only talking about a fitness program. And then they'll come to me and they're like, okay, so I know they want to do this program, but now how do I talk about like the eating plan and the fact that they need to do the supplements? And all it takes is asking the right questions. And so I tell them, if you haven't talked about nutrition yet, how about you circle back around and you ask them, well, can you tell me, how is your nutrition? What does that look like? Do you feel like you struggle in that area? So once you start asking those leading questions, you can even take your own personal nutritional journey with one of our nutritional programs, and you can tie it together. So for me, I would share, well, you know what? I felt like my nutrition was great. But I realized once I started following something that gave me a balanced, clean eating portion guides, and it allowed me to realize that I was either under or overeating certain foods, that made all the difference. It helped me get past my plateau. Now notice that when I'm talking to people, I never say when I did 21-day fix or when I follow these containers. I'm very descriptive. So balanced, clean eating, that's what I always call it, because that's what it is ultimately. But by doing that, I'm able to create a connection through my own personal story that leads me into sharing a full solution. And I want to share, if you're a new coach and you're like, okay, but I don't really have a story to share yet, talk to your sponsor or talk to members of your team. Go to some of the Beachbody pages and use some of these people as examples and say, can I share your story with somebody? Because I don't really have one just yet. And I really want to tie in your story with the person I'm talking to, because you guys sound very similar, right? So I'm able to do that through sharing my own personal story. I actually don't even talk about fitness typically until they purchase a challenge pack, because I've already set up all of our conversation to offer them the full solution. They already know they're going to be getting Beachbody on demand. And then I will also make sure that they add on a nutritional program. UPF, Ultimate Portion Fix, or 2B Mindset, when you add it to a challenge pack, if you didn't know this, Beachbody has a special offer. Thank you, Beachbody, because this is huge. And I make a big deal about it to my customers. I say, you know what? I really encourage you to add one of our nutritional programs, because we had already talked about nutrition. We already laid that foundation. So I can say, I really encourage you to add this, because when you're signing up as a coach, it's $36 a roundabout. When you're signing up as a customer, it's about $47 a roundabout. And I say, if you decide you want to get this later, the customer cost for it's about $119. So let's go ahead and add it on to your package. That way you have this content to be successful and to really maximize your goals. And then I also noticed, sometimes coaches may get stuck in like which one to offer. I always tell my coaches, lead with what you're using, but be familiar and realize when maybe what you're using isn't the right nutritional program for them. And again, that's why I think it's really important for us as coaches to invest in both. So that way, when we're talking to people, we realize which one is the best eating plan for them. You can always ask a team member, ask your team page, ask your sponsor, and kind of lean on them if you're only utilizing one. But again, in the future, if you invest in both, then you'll be able to really help anybody and make the right suggestion for everyone.
You're giving a really, really great script right now of what to say and what to do. And I love the balanced clean eating because you're not program specific. You just focus on what those programs offer, which is balanced clean eating. So I love that. Thank you so much for doing that, and also for costing it out in US dollars, what it can mean for people. So thank you. You're doing great, by the way. I'm learning even though I have your script, I am learning. Okay, so once you get through that conversation, how do you tie in supplements?
Okay, so for me, I talk to people in stages. So stage one, if you're taking notes, stage one is goals and struggles. Stage two is nutrition. And stage three is going to be how to personalize their journey. Well, with talking about nutrition, I've already laid the foundation out to lead into supplements. So when you're personalizing their journey, to me, that is adding Beachbody On Demand and adding the supplements. I honestly don't say too much about Beachbody On Demand because I really feel like it sells itself. So I don't have to say too much. I've already planted a lot of seeds about Beachbody On Demand in my stories and posts and things like that. But on the nutritional side of it, it's very organic to lead into the supplements. So for them, if they want to increase their nutrition, then they need to be increasing their nutritional intake. Okay. Not only does Shakeology aid in weight loss, but it aids in our overall health. So I remind them that their primary goal, it has to be health. It's so much more powerful if we can have them make a connection with living a longer, healthier life and feeling energized during the whole process. Then I can help them ultimately achieve the rest of their goals. So if they're using something like Shakeology, they're nourishing their body. Okay. When your body is nourished, those nutrients make you feel full. When you feel full, you also have decreased cravings, which is going to lead to weight loss. When your body feels nourished, you're going to have higher energy levels. You're going to be more apt to want to work out. Again, leading into the weight loss goal that they have. So if I can really tie their goal around their primary goal around their health, then I'm going to be able to help them achieve the rest of their goals too. And tying in the supplements, you also want to make sure that you're posting about it, right? So it's not just like I had my shake today. It has to be more powerful than that. So one very easy way is I show people different ways to make it. And Sandy, I know you and I talked, I shared with you that I often have my Shakeology powder mixed in yogurt. And then I add rolled oats and pecans and peanut butter and a diced apple. And it's a great snack for me. And I show it on social media and I tell people about it. I had so many people ask me about that. But I show that I can mix it with melted coconut oil and make a Reese cup, or I can mix it in yogurt. There's all these things that you can do with Shakeology that it doesn't require just a shake. Because for me, I didn't know how I feel about drinking something every day. So I like to show people that there's different ways of making it. Also, I want to give a shout out to the co-creators, Darren and Isabel Deichler and Darren Orlean, because they have some incredible trainings and content out there for us guys. It's on YouTube. There are things that Beachbody shared with them. There are national wake up calls. And I've sat and listened to those and I've taken notes and I've created some really wonderful educational content that I've been able to put out posts that educate people. And that is our jobs as coaches, is to educate people. So I first had to educate myself by learning from them. And then I take that information and I put it back out there on social media, teaching people. That number one gets people interested in the supplements and asking me questions about it. Again, it creates a foundation for when we start talking about the supplements because they've seen those posts. And then for my existing customers, it creates a better retention because they realize they're not just taking a weight loss shake, they're actually taking something that benefits their health and that is going to, help them overall with everything.
Okay, retention. You just mentioned that, which was a perfect segue to my next question. You see how we work like that? So what are you doing to help people stay on Shakeology?
So I definitely think the power is in the follow up. Now Beachbody has the Shakeology follow up tracker, which is on the back of our Success Club system business activity tracker. And it's a really great resource to be very organized with your follow up. But I have to admit, I was already doing these things. I was following up with my customers way before that tracker came out. And I'm going to give you guys some tips, kind of what I'm doing that helps with my retention. So as soon as somebody gets it, I always tell them, when your package comes, will you please send me a message? And I send them a Google Doc I've made with my favorite recipes. And I always highlight my recipe that I enjoy the most. And I make sure they also know they can make treats with it. So I talk about the way it's mixed in yogurt and all of that. So I'm telling them how to make it. And then I'm following up from there and asking them how they like it. Well, before I was doing those things, I always was so scared of asking them, like, what if they say they don't like it? Then what do I say? And if you're a new coach, I'm sure you feel this way. So I'm going to give you some helpful tips. Okay. Number one, tell them how to make it. Number two, if they say they don't like it, ask them, how did you make it? Because I'm not sure if the package still says it, but on the back of the package, it used to just say mix it in water. And though it's okay mixed in water, it's not the best way to make Shakeology. And I think most of us know that. So when I would go back and tell them exactly how to make it, that made all the difference. And then I would also ask them about, the flavor. So if they still didn't like the way they were making it, I would make a couple of other suggestions of other ways to make it. If it was a texture issue, I noticed from my existing texture customers, they would always say, put a frozen banana in it, makes it a lot smoother. So I would make that suggestion. And if none of those things worked, I would help them swap out a flavor. It's okay. We don't like every Shakeology flavor. Our palates are all different. You may notice even the flavor you recommended, somebody doesn't like it. Sandy and I had this conversation because the flavor that she usually has is one that's like my least favorite on the list. I'm a huge vanilla vegan fan. So you got to make sure that you realize everybody's palate's different. You can help them swap that out, right? The follow-up then has to continue. So to make sure that your retention stays, I always follow up with them and I help them realize certain things. I say, do you notice your energy is improved? Do you notice that your digestion system is better? Are you feeling more full after you have your shake? So I make them notice those things and I make them connect it to their Shakeology because that's what it is. Most of the times that's what it's going to be that's making those differences for them. And then I will also, if they tell me that they don't notice changes, I'll ask them, well, how often are you using it? And I'll find that they're trying to ration it and they're only using it like every other day or twice a week or half a scoop. And I'm like, okay, you can't get the full nutritional benefits from our products if you're not consistently using them. And if they are consistently using them, I remind them that for some people, it does take 30 days to feel the full impacts. It's going to be different. Everybody's body is different. So those are the things that I do to help with retention.
You outed me there on my shake. So for those who care, tropical is delicious with almond milk and frozen cherries. Okay. So we're going to wrap it up. We have just a couple quick questions. I want to try and get done before the top of the hour, but you seem very well versed in nutrition. Is that a dental hygienist thing, or did you just take an interest? Because I don't think that people think that they have to be a nutritionist to sell Shakeology, and I don't think that's true. You want to share?
Yes. So dental hygiene, I got a bachelor's in science. I had like one nutrition course. Definitely the biggest impact for me was when our daughter was born. We started to really look into foods. When we started feeding her solid foods, we realized, oh, okay, I think we're going to feed her more organic foods and we're going to feed her less processed. We're going to start reading ingredients. And then my husband and I had like an aha moment. We're like, okay, we're feeding her this way. Why aren't we doing it too? And so that's what initially sparked our interest to start learning more. And that's all it takes, guys. Nobody has to know it all, but you have to be willing to educate yourself. I'm 6 years into coaching And this is me listening to podcasts or reading nutritional books or going through our nutritional programs from start to finish and rewatching them. And if you want to take it the extra mile, become a master coach, get certified. I'm certified in both of those programs because I wanted all the information that I could have to really help my clients. So no, you don't have to know it all, but you do have to be willing to take those small steps to learn more and educate yourself so you can help more people.
And last question before we go to your close is, can anyone do what you did? I mean, can anyone who just started out to as a coach do what you did to become knowledgeable?
Absolutely. Again, I think that it's important for you to invest in both nutritional programs. I think that once you have one down, again, you should invest in the other one. Your own personal testimonial is going to be what's going to make you the most confident in this, becoming certified in the program. I've noticed even with my brand new coaches, and I always tell coaches coming on board now, I'm like, 6 years ago, I wish we had these nutritional programs because I wasn't as confident then. That had to build as my knowledge built. But when I started watching the nutritional programs, I mean, these programs came out when I was like 4 and 5 years into coaching. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was learning things that I had not even learned in my 4 to 5 years of coaching. And so I'm seeing my brand new coaches gain momentum, get their customers results, and they feel confident about it because they now have our nutritional programs to lean on for guidance.
I love what you said, because your confidence built as your knowledge increased on it. So for those of you just starting out and you don't know what to say about Shakeology or about anything that you're now representing, it takes time, it takes practice, the confidence comes with time. So give it time. Okay, so closing of your call, and you've done a fantastic job, Danielle. I'm really proud of you. What has it all meant for you? 6 years later, how rewarding has this been for you?
I was thinking about this question, and ultimately, you guys, 6 years ago, my husband and I never seen this in the cards for us. We got started with this to create a little bit of income for a family vacation. That's all it was. It wasn't that I was burnt out in my profession. Did I want to leave it? No. I worked for a great office. I had a wonderful work family. I was well paid. I was very happy in my profession in that sense. But you guys, when I started coaching, it changed me. It lit that fire. And I always use that quote: if you're doing something you love, you will never work a day in your life. So it wasn't hard to make the decision to go all in with coaching because I loved it so much. And it was giving so much to my family. I mean, financially, yes, but it was also allowing us to have more time together. I was slowly cutting my hours until I finally made the decision when I was 4 months pregnant with my son that I was going to leave my professional career and I was going to go all in with coaching. And since the day he was born, I've been home with him. And my husband, he came home 18 months after that. We brought him home from his 13-year teaching career, and we've been together as a family, our 2 kids, and now my husband and I have built this business that we are so proud of, and we've given our kids the best gift that we can give them, which is time together. And I'm noticing during this pandemic, everybody's getting a little taste of that with their kids. When I ask them, how are you doing? They're like, you know what? There are a lot of tough things happening right now, and financial things are hard, but the time we get with our kids, they're like, it's such a blessing. So they're getting a little bit of a taste of what my husband and I have had for the last couple of years. And it is the most precious gift that you can give anyone.
Wow. I am really, really happy for your success, Danielle. Thank you so much. You did a great job detailing out what you do. And for new coaches, this has really been a very special call. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And coaches, we started out this morning with a little bit of Star Wars humor. May the 4th be with you. What I'm going to give you today as an affirmation is be good to yourself. I think we are all trying to figure out what we're supposed to be doing during this time in our life. But I think after this call, we got fired up by Carl. We got excitement from Darren Ashby. We got a lot of information from Kevin Shaw. You need to go to the Champions page. That is a Facebook page that'll give you all the information you need also about bod groups. So please, if you're new, go over there to the Beachbody Champions page where there's a lot of information about bod groups. And Danielle, you did a fantastic job. Everybody have a great, great 4th of May, May the 4th. And we'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.